How significant is that win for your footy club?
Oh, mate, it was huge. It's been a big week. From taking stock, I guess, after the game last week and trying to count the bodies. It was just a really hard week. I guess last week what I did say was we'll find out a little bit about us as a footy team and as a footy club, and I just thought the response was outstanding. We set the agenda pretty much day one about what we wanted to do. We had to move really quickly from last week's performance into this week, and sort of a nice little reminder about how we play footy and what is the Blues brand and how we want to play. And it was a really well connected performance. Didn't rely on one individual to get it done, although there was some individual outstanding performances. But it took a squad, and when I mean it took a squad, it took the whole squad to be able to get that one done.
How difficult is it for the players to, I guess, thinking specifically about the forward line, to take a new sort of style in the forward line and train it and implement it like that?
Yeah, it was unorthodox. I mean, early on the week we had to get ahead of it pretty quick. Obviously try to get clear with the players about the changes we need to be able to make and where some of the gaps were going to be. And we appreciated that it wasn't something that was going to be familiar to them, but we asked them to be able to step up. And, obviously Ollie Holland's going back. Enabled Binns to be able to come in on the wing, and he did a great job. Obviously Matty Kennedy and Brodie Kemp going up forward and playing a bit more permanent up there to be able to try and help us get the ball to ground, knowing that obviously West Coast had threats down there that could intercept the ball. So I thought our forwards were absolutely magnificent tonight. I thought they were incredible. Whether it was the ball in the air, attacking it in the air, or whether the ball was on the floor, I just felt we were able to bring that pressure, that real sort of brand that we know works for us and identity that we want to play to. And I just thought our forwards were magnificent tonight.
Is Kemp going to tell Curto in the car, don't worry, I got this?
Yeah, he goes, mate, clear out, boys, get outside 50. I've got this one covered. I think we're going to be hearing that for a little while longer. But I wrote him in for a couple of goals. I didn't write him in for 4. I told him for that. But look, I think it was just a great team performance, and I'm really pleased for Kempy that he went forward. Equally at the other end, I thought having Young come in and be able to get his job done and fill that was equally as important. But again, I could probably spend a hell of a lot of time here talking about individuals and how we're able to step up collectively. And they knew the mission that we're going after, and it was all about bringing pressure, and we successfully did that.
Change in personnel, with the circuit breaker, that changed the force, force to change your mentality.
The guys have been. I think we've had a good, to be fair, 3 weeks during the week where the energy's been great, and we've looked forward to the next contest, and we felt like we've prepped really, really well. It was just probably this week where it really tipped over, and you can sort of look at the guys who aren't there, but where we probably turned our attention to was this exciting opportunity that some of these boys were going to get, and you can't dampen that. That's what we're here to do. We're here to celebrate each other's journey, and when you get opportunities. And I had some guys that were injured that were a little bit sad, but I had half the other side of the building that happy and with smiles on their faces about the opportunity they're going to get. And they were able to play their role really well, and they had an impact in the game. So really pleased for them.
It makes you wonder where that hunt, that contested footy's been over the last 5-6 weeks.
I can't spend too much sort of going on what if. It'd certainly be nice if it was there more consistently. We've stated our position emphatically, really, about where we see ourselves as a footy team, and I'll keep coming back to that word consistency, and that's something that we've got to continually do. And the competition demands it. I mean, we're facing probably the tightest competition that I've ever seen, and it looks like you got to win 14 wins to get in the 8. I mean, that's unheard of. 12 was enough once upon a time. So it's just an incredibly tight competition. And we've got to have that consistency, and we found that through the game today, throughout the 4 quarters. I thought we played a really consistent brand of football through the 4 quarters. And we'll go into next week, and we'll really look forward to that opportunity. And so it's pretty exciting.
What did you make of the skipper tonight?
Beg your pardon?
What did you make of the skipper?
No, he's huge. I mean, look, you need your leaders to be able to stand up, and Cripper was that. Walsh is the same. Weeders down back. We probably just needed that reminder about the way we play, and we've put a lot of work into that over the last 2 or 3 years. So it's very easy to sort of look over the last month and say, well, you know, where's the brand gone? But we also had a really strong feel about what it looks like, and we had to just keep reinforcing what that actually looked like and don't deviate off the path and keep tinkering with our game style to ensure that we get what we need. But yeah, it was a big task. I understand where West Coast are at. I understand all that, but for us and the stage of the season and the players coming in and what was being said about us, that was an enormous win. An enormous win.
What's it like having your finals fate back in your own hands now?
Yeah, it was. When Freo obviously went down, it went back into our hands again. So it's always a nicer position to be in. We're just going to play this out really strong. I mean, this next week we're going to step into it big and just enjoy it, enjoy the experience, and we can't wait to get there. And we'll absorb this one. I think we've got to absorb this one, and then we'll turn our eyes to St Kilda and finish off the season really strong. No, I couldn't tell early. I mean, look, to be quite honest, after the first day, the only days that mattered was the 6 days ahead of us, and it was all about just that 6 days and making sure we get it right and we get ready for this game. And now we've passed that 6 days, we'll turn ourselves into next week, and when I get back to Melbourne, we'll start to assess who's going to be available and who's not.
Michael, do you look at, you obviously fell out of finals in that heartbreaking couple of seasons ago. Do you sort of draw on that when you head into games like this today, knowing that you've been in the eight for so long, lost, you can see you fall back out when you've been there all year?
I think we've had some really unique exposure to different things, of course, over the course of multiple seasons now, and through that exposure, I'd like to think that we can thrive in those moments, and I think we've done that. We've learned some incredible things out of those past experiences, and even just as recently as the last month, and trying to find your own form and the belief that there's a style of football there that stacks up against some really good opposition. And we talk about system and talent, and that we have a great system and we need to run it, and it takes a squad mentality to be able to get that done, a really strong, well-connected team. And so we've learnt that over time, and this is just another point of reinforcement. So that was a point in time. It was an important experience, but we've been able to activate so many things off the back of that since that period of time that it seems so long ago now. It's almost, I won't say it's irrelevant because it means a lot. But in terms of how it helps us this week, well, we know it's eyes in, we know to enjoy the experience and play with courage.
Looked like Durden popped his shoulder out. How serious is it? Could he perhaps play next week still? Or?
It's possible, but it's assessment. I mean, he's got a shoulder that he hurt about 8 weeks ago, I think, 6 weeks ago, that was obviously unstable. He went to work on it to try and get back, and he obviously came out and unfortunately in that incident popped it out again. So we'll assess it again, see whether we can strengthen it up. I would have thought at this stage it's very unlikely for next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Williams, it's a bit of a concern there as well.
Yeah, we had that back prior to that, and we're sort of hoping that at this stage it's cramp only. So that's what we're hoping. But again, these things are, we wait till we get the full assessment before we can obviously give you the right information. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.